everybody, and welcome to the debut edition of Georgia High School Football Wrap-Up. Alongside RL Rich Lowenberg, I'm Chris Colwell, and on each edition of Georgia High School Football Wrap-Up, we'll be bringing you extended coverage.
That's right, Chris. We are going to dive into one school every week. We're going to touch on the coaches. We're going to touch on the players.
We'll have you fully covered throughout the entire 2009 high school football season. Speaking of high school football, is it great to have it back or what?
Last year was so exciting. I can hardly wait for this coming year.
There's nothing quite like high school football. And of course, the 2009 season has just got underway. The first full week of games this week, and we have a slew of games to go over. Let's start it out with the battle between longtime rivals LaGrange and Newnan, a rivalry that dates back to 1948 officially. This is the 45th overall meeting between the two schools. In this game, the Cougars got the edge over the Grangers by a final score of 26-15. Some of the highlights from the game: Jamal Ransby, described as an Iron Man on the Cougars, playing special teams, defense, and offense. A 45-yard punt return for a touchdown that got the Cougar offense rolling. And also for the Grangers, a 56-yard field goal kicked by kicker Joe Mansour. So RL, with the result, the Cougars winning that ball game 26-15. What does the result mean for both Newnan and LaGrange?
The coaches have prepared these teams very, very well. They both look to have a good future later on during the season. Newnan was tempted a lot because of having a new offense, but I believe the defense pulled them through it.
That's the third straight victory for Newnan over the Grangers, but LaGrange does hold the all-time series record against the Cougars dating back to 1948. The Grangers with 25 wins, the Newnan Cougars with 19. There was a tie back in 1961. It took two overtimes to determine a victor between East Coweta and Sandy Creek. In the end, though, East Coweta squeaked out the win by actually blocking a point-after attempt by Sandy Creek that, had it been successful, would have resulted in a third overtime. The final score, 28-27. For East Coweta, one of the highlights in the game, Angel Santiago's 75-yard interception return. For Sandy Creek, it was Rajon Neal with an 89-yard touchdown run.
Chris, I thought we were looking at another recap from last year where Sandy Creek was able to pull it out and totally messed up East Coweta's season. But they pulled it out at the last minute just by 1 point.
Elsewhere in the Battle of the Tigers, Fayette County got a huge come-from-behind win over Stockbridge High School. Stockbridge had a 13-12 lead at the half, but Fayette County held strong, outscoring Stockbridge 14-7 in the second half to secure the 26-20 victory. It was Justin Murray for Fayette County leading the way on offense with a couple of touchdown passes. Also, Eric Lauderdale for Fayette County scored 2 touchdowns.
That's right, Chris. I went to that game. I was really impressed with both teams at the beginning of the game. The only reason that Fayette County really did jump out to a win there was they were taking advantage of all the turnovers that Stockbridge gave them.
Moving on, the Griffin Bears showed exactly why they are rated so high in the state with a dominating victory over Dunwoody High School. Using an air attack on the offense, the Bears breezed to a 27-0 victory. Bears quarterback Marcus Waller threw for 240 yards and 2 touchdowns to lead the offense for the Bears.
Griffin is definitely a state contender for the title as they return 14 starters.
Next, in the opening of the new Southern Crescent Stadium in Clayton County, it was longtime rivals Riverdale and North Clayton doing battles. In the end, it would be North Clayton getting the win, handling the Raiders 26-7. Riverdale leads the series 16-10, and this has been the third straight victory, though, for North Clayton in the series. And finally, Northgate traveled to Hampton, Georgia to take on the Dutchtown Bulldogs. Unfortunately for Northgate, it was a tough night as they were soundly beaten by Dutchtown by a final score of 34-14.
The Bulldogs were able to march down the field in 7 plays and score. The biggest blow to Northgate came as their defense was not able to adapt to the Bulldogs' offense.
There were some highlights for Northgate, though. Brad Sweeney's touchdown pass to Jared Ames, and also on the ensuing kickoff, a fumble recovery by Jonathan Rice that set the Vikings up with their 14 points in the ball game. However, it was the 3 turnovers and some struggles by quarterback Toby Slagle that led to the end of Northgate's 3-game winning streak in opening games. Speaking of Northgate High School, the entire Georgia High School football wrap-up crew recently paid a visit to campus and was able to sit in on a practice of the Vikings. We'll have tons of coverage from that coming up in just a few moments, but first, here are some other scores.
Whitewater 14, Douglas High School 0. Etowah 21, Stars Mill 14. McIntosh 34, Forsyth Central 17. Villa Rica 20, Central of Carroll County 14. Banneker 15, Westlake 8. Alexander 28, Bremen 0. Chapel Hill 46, Lithia Springs 0. Creekside 18, Tri-Cities 6. Mount Zion 15, Lovejoy 0. Pebblebrook 27, Osborne 21. Troup County 14, Callaway 10. You're watching Georgia High School Football Wrap-Up.
Today's Extra Point brought to you by ClearyMedia.com. The 2009 season opener marked the 26th all-time meeting between Riverdale and North Clayton. Riverdale leads the series 16-10, however, North Clayton has won the last 3 meetings.
Are you uncertain about the damage to your roof from the recent hailstorm? Doing nothing can cause further damage to your home and a substantial personal expense. Contact Ideal Exteriors to receive expert advice and peace of mind. Relax and let us do the work. Ideal Exteriors. We're from your hometown.